Welcome to Popham 6 English. In this brief introduction, I'll outline my guiding principles when it comes to reading and writing instruction. I'll describe the workshop approach that students will experience this year. And finally, I'll end by offering a couple of tips to help your learners get off to a great start. So when it comes to the instruction of reading and writing, I believe that kids need long stretches of time to do just those things. So during class, they'll often have around 30 minutes to be able to practice reading or writing. I believe that kids need predictable structures to do this work in, which also means that I believe that kids need clear and explicit instruction, which is why I use a workshop approach. I believe that kids need choice. They need choice about the books they're reading. They need choice when it comes to the topics they're writing about. I believe that kids need responsive feedback. I need to be able to offer them a skill or strategy during a conference or during a small group that they can implement right away that's going to make their reading or writing that much stronger in that moment and will then transfer. So those are my basic beliefs when it comes to the instruction of reading and writing. Like I said, I use a workshop approach. So what does that mean? This will be familiar to students coming from the elementary level, but in the middle school, it does look a bit more sophisticated, but the structures and routines are the same. We begin each workshop with a mini lesson. Typically, we would gather together close in the classroom for this mini lesson to be delivered. But this year, it's going to look a little bit different. So often, these mini lessons will be pre-recorded. Sometimes they'll feature me. Other times, they'll feature some of my friends and colleagues from the Teachers College Reading and Writing Project at Columbia University. Either way, kids will be taught one skill or strategy to use as a reader or writer. That will be modeled, and then they'll be invited to give it a go. After that mini lesson, that's when we move into the independent work time. And I say independent loosely because sometimes it will be with a partner, sometimes it might be in a club. Again, this year, that's going to look a little bit different. So often those partnerships or clubs will be meeting via Zoom. Regardless, they'll have about 30 minutes to work on their reading or their writing. During that time, that's when I'll have one-on-one conferences, maybe partnership conferences, conduct small group work. And then finally, we end the workshop with a share time. And again, like sometimes that share is another opportunity for me to teach a skill or strategy. Or it may just be that students are getting together and sharing the work that they've been doing. So that's the workshop approach that students will experience this year. I just thought I would end by offering a couple of helpful tips to get your learners off to a great start. I know that our houses probably look a lot different than they did a year ago. Sometimes they're having to double as workspaces with multiple children working on different classwork, on different grade levels, parents working from home, and you guys are trying to monitor all of that. So it's important that students have a place to call their own, and in that space that hopefully it's inspiring. They have access to plugs and outlets so they can plug in their devices. They have paper and pencil at the ready. They have their materials that they'll need. And it's someplace where they can be comfortable to do this work. So that's one tip, is just having a good workspace that students can go to each day and as part of their routine. My second tip is just for you to be supportive of the work they're doing. So you don't need to be a copy editor when it comes to their writing. You don't need to be, or attempt to be a reading teacher. It's really more about you just talking to your child, asking them about the book they're reading. You know, what kinds of characters are they getting to know? What topics are they really enjoying learning about? Ask them about their writing, how they think they're growing as a writer, what kinds of writing they best they best like to do, and what their new interests are as they're going through this year. And leave the hard stuff up to me. That's what I'm here for. And of course, along the way, if I can be of any help, my email is always open, and I'm here. So I'm looking forward to a great year in Popham 6 English, and I can't wait to meet all of you and your children